Hey guys, good morning everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Miss JD for our um, June 8th pre-open stock market review. Just want to make sure everyone's prepared for the big day later. So if this is the first time you're watching my video, I'm inviting you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always updated whenever I have new videos. And in this episode or in this video, I'm just going to focus on the highly traded stocks that were traded, that were active yesterday, okay, June 7th. But I already have it here. So what I would normally do is just sort this all stocks and sort from highest to lowest in terms of highly traded ones. Okay, so these are the stocks I'll be covering. Let's see where up to which part I'll be able to cover. Okay, but then first of all, I'd like to talk about the index. As you can see, um, since the 26th or technically 25th of May, we've been moving upwards and showing some signs of recovery. And at the moment, there's some slight slowed down already in the movement. So people, especially those who are holding stocks in the index, they're already locking in some gains. So this is the result. Um, a slight pullback in terms of its price. But let's try to measure that using our Fibonacci retracement and really understand if this is still going to be respected. Okay, so the areas where it could potentially bounce for our index would be around the 6,600 level, and the lowest it could drop would be around its MA20 line, but I don't think so. We've already stayed on a decline phase for quite an extended period of time, so I am anticipating that we are now going to slowly recover and probably go back to the 7,000 area really soon. So I'm thinking if it is going to drop, um, possible areas could be the previous resistance of May 27th, week of May 27th, and then bounce probably lowest drop would be the support, which is around the 6584 level. So first area to watch out for is the 6,600. Worst is 6.5. That's for me the lowest, and then it will just continue to move higher. Volume is still there, but notice here while we were declining. Okay, let me remove this first. Uh, on these dates, right? We declined, and then last 2 days the volume of the selling is pretty small. That means people are still holding. They're holding on to their position, and this is just a temporary profit taking day. Okay, so let's try to see how it is panning out in some of our stocks. Let's first talk about Acen. Acen did a 0%. Mm. So I looking at the chart here. By the way, guys, the scope of my discussion really is more on technicals. Sometimes I would give additional insights in terms of fundamentals, but please remember that I have work in the morning and I can only focus on technicals. So please add some commentaries if you have additional information with regards to the fundamentals or any updates that I may have not mentioned here that could potentially be influencing the movements. Okay, feel free to drop a comment. Let's help one another. Okay, but purely technicals using Bollinger Band and all the indicators that I have, looking at ASEN, I see a resistance formed at this level where we are currently seated. Okay, there you go. So around 790, that is the resistance area. Because if you are to look back, this level over here and this on the week, well, technically on the month in the month of February, you have experienced some resistance happening right here. on this key level as well. And we've been moving sideways, and overall, there's already some slight recovery that's happening, but I think we will still be struggling a bit breaking that resistance area. Unless, okay, we see a problem, possibly a gap up, then that's a different story. Once we manage to break out of the 790 area, that's a gap up. Then we could now establish a brand new support at its previous resistance. So it's a wait and see game. So far, volume is still there. Previously, volume is just very minimal, and um, right now we just right there at the tip of the cloud. So I'm thinking this is still considered as, a sustained volume for yesterday. See that? There is volume still, so hopefully it manages to break that. We're not at the overbought area as of yet, as you can see right there. Very very close though. So if you want, if you want to enter in this stock, I suggest you have to condition your mind that this is for the long haul. Because for short term or yeah, momentum traders and those who are even position traders, this is already on on the expensive side. But I've been mentioning this in my previous videos. Look at Acen for the long haul. The company is very promising. The business model or the niche that this company has is really really good. Renewable energy, that's the direction, and the government is supporting that. Even the US government is supporting the advocacy for renewable energy. So, and of course, projects. If you are to look back into the news, projects of ASEAN are left and right. So, this is really a good a growth stock um, for all of us. So, look at it for mid to long term. Ali, let's talk about Ali. Ali has also experienced some increase in the price. This is just mirroring the chart of the index. So you also have some profit taking that's happening. So if this is going to pull back some more, try to catch it around this level. Previous resistance of Ali. There you go, around 34.82. If this is going to go back, but look at it in the long term as well, because there's we have experienced a massive downfall in the price. So this could already be a sign that we are recovering. So just take advantage of those dips, those pullbacks to add more volume. So if you can try to enter very near 34.82, that is a much better picture. ICT, I've been mentioning that the stock is very resilient. The entire time while the world is experiencing the pandemic or the effects of pandemic, the rest are on a decline, but the stock was just steady climbing higher and higher each time. So those um, red days that you're experiencing, I think we might see some drop again, but I still feel that your MA20 line is really going to be respected. Okay, this is the area. Okay, just use the MA20 level as a possible area of bounce. And given the historical performance of ICT, look at it as well for long term. Okay, now let's talk about MEG. Oh, wait, just a second. Going back, I saw a dividend. That is, that's done. Okay, let's talk about MEG. MEG, um, MEG is also pulling back. It experienced some signs of recovery, but let's try to use our Fibonacci retracement as well, so you know where it could potentially drop and continue to uh, accelerate in price. So let's use the lowest point here and the highest point over here. Okay, so I'm anticipating that we could still experience some more downward movement here, but two areas to watch out for. That's the beauty of plotting a Fibonacci retracement tool here. So first area of possible drop is 3.08. Next would be 299. Lowest would be 291. At least as it goes down, you have some key levels to watch out for. Now, the next thing that you want to look at, what are, try to understand what are the possibilities of it dropping up to the lowest point. I would normally check the volume here. Notice the volume is very, very small, comparing it with the candlestick. That means even if we had a solid red right now, volume wise it's just small. So I'm thinking if it is going to drop, worst would be up to this point, up to 298 or 3 peso level. So people who have entered here are just taking profit in the short term. So mid to long term holders are still there. Look at this volume. This is really massive. And as we go higher, and I mean, as we go red for technically June 3rd was already your sign. It was supported by June 4th and June 7th performance. That was already your sign that there's that weakness that's happening. But overall, the overall outlook here is it's just temporary and there will be a continuation happening given that you have your volume. Imagine if you add all these points here, this is just up to probably this level. And then you have 50% of the population still holding onto their position. Okay, now let's try to understand how far are we from the peak. There. See that we have dropped tremendously, and then big picture wise, there is still that big picture. 640 was the highest. Yes, this was the highest back in 2019. And look at Meg. Overall, Meg is still, yeah, it's just that the real estate industry right now is just on the defensive side because of what's happening. But I'm sure a lot of you are holding onto this position for long term. So that's a good one. So just try to take note of those key levels I plotted earlier. There. Let me just move that up. There. As you can see, all right. I hope it's clear. First is 308 and second would be around 3 pesos. Very near. Okay, let's talk. Let's discuss Ever. Ever is, I don't know the story here. This could just be a, wow, 47%. It reached a ceiling for today. Okay, I don't know. Let's try to check the news, guys. There's really not much. I'm sure when they answered this one, it's always the generic movement that they don't know what happened there. It's normally the generic reply. We wish to inform you that the company has no knowledge. There you go. Okay, so they're not aware of this movement. So guys, if you're already profitable, lock in gains as much as possible, take profit. I have a feeling that tomorrow there could be a continuation. Normally this is how it goes. If it's fully maxed out up to the ceiling, next day there's a continuation. Probably, I don't know, 10%, 8%. It could go as far as that, and then push on the first 5-10 minutes, and then the sentiment the entire day will be going down. People will rush taking profit. Sometimes that happens within 30 minutes. Okay, so just 5 to 10 minutes worth of increase in the price, and that's those people who are chasing or victims of FOMO. That those are the people who will enter in the first few minutes, and then only to discover that you know that's already a profit taking level. So if you are still planning, just be very, very careful as much as possible. First 10 minutes, if you can use a much faster time frame, and if your sentiment is, or if the movement is going against your bias, lock in gains or cut loss early, because it's very unusual for this stock to really have this massive movement. So notice in the past it's just very minimal movement. So if you get trapped here, it might take some time before that area will be revisited. Um, Lucky for you, sometimes the move could extend up to set 2 or 3 days, but just be extra careful, okay? If you have gains for this stock, lock in gains or even exit right away so that you can secure your profit. Next is, okay, this next stock is Morocco. Wow, big drop. So, and we crossed the MA20 line. I'm thinking it might go back to 271, especially because um, our index is also doing some profit taking at the moment. So there's a big possibility that your 271 will be revisited again. Worst would be around 267. It's an area, so it could even reach up to, this point over here, 267. And lastly, I'd like to talk about Dito. Dito ended with no change. Foreign buying is there. So short term wise, it's just consolidating at at the resistance area. So sometimes it's good if it just stays there and then it crosses the 10 peso mark. I'm thinking once we cross the 10 peso mark, it's already a good sign. Foreign buying is there. Let me just add here our net foreign. This is just a steady climb for Dito with some slight pullback that's happening. It's just fine. This means that um, no one is really taking profit that much. They're still holding on to their position. But the increase is again also not sustained that much because there's no volume. Okay, so if you see some green days, but the volume is really small, so we're not 100% safe if that's the case because it can still drop. So what we want to see is that as we go higher and higher, the volume is there. See this? Um, we are moving higher, but the increase in the volume has not even surpassed the cloud right there. That means it's just technically sideways overall. But if you are to look back, um, the overall sentiment here is sideways. So people are just accumulating. Dito is very, very promising, guys. Look at it for long term. And the area where we are at right now is already a very good discounted level, given that this is now fully operational. If you are to look at even in YouTube, in Instagrams, you see those banner ads. They're now making themselves visible in the online world. So that's a good sign. They're tapping onto influencers for their ads. So more to come for Dito. So look at it as your retirement stock. Okay. So I think that's it, guys, for this evening. Thank you for watching, and good luck in your trades later. And bye bye for now.